This video is brought to you by Patreon. Support CyberborgTronic at patreon.com. Links below in the description. Valentine's Day. The day of love where people spend time together with the ones they love, where gym people have a specific thing to work out on, and then there's the forever alone people. Since today is the day of love, Cyber's going to share the thing he loves the most. No, it's not food, but video games. More specifically, shoot-'em-up arcade games. If there's one thing I liked, is spending my $20 week allowance in a day at the arcades. It was an addiction. I know. But today, we're not here to talk about my various problems. Anyways, so when I was playing at the arcades, I was spending mostly my coins on this game, Blazing Stars, and then I got sad when they took it away. Okay, not that sad, buddy, slow down. Furthermore, after a while, I discovered the secret powers of emulations. And also, these days, most shoot-'em-ups are available on Android, iOS, Steam, Xbox Live Arcade, PS Network, and you get the point. So, in this special Valentine's video, I'll be showcasing the various shoot-'em-ups I've played and enjoyed so far. So, don't be sad if I didn't show a certain game you like, because maybe I haven't played it, but I would like to play it since this is a genre I truly enjoy. So don't forget to leave a comment on your favorite shoot-'em-up. So before we begin, I'd like to mention a subgenre of these types of games called cute-'em-ups. They're essentially the same thing as a shoot-'em-up, but with a more lolly aspect to it. They're also really easy games, and most of the time they're a guilty pleasure for me. One of the games I don't play a lot but come back to it oftenly is Harmful Park, a Japanese-only exclusive for the PlayStation 1. I tend to go back to this game simply because of the colorful environment that it offers. I don't really know the story simply because 1, I don't speak Japanese, and 2, I made up my own story. So my made up story goes like this. A harmful lady in a park who shoots at people, and the people try to defend themselves by harming you simply because you're pissed off that they didn't let you ride the merry-go-round. As for the gameplay, you have different weapons which you can switch at any time in the game, so that adds a little bit of differentiation between other shoot-'em-ups. And they also have their own super moves. Your handgun ultimate is a giant potato that destroys all the enemies on screen. Your jelly shot ultimate is a jelly shield. Your pie weapon is a bunch of cake missiles shooting everywhere. And your ice cream ultimate is a giant ice cream laser. So that was essentially what a cute-'em-up is like, and recent ones like the Otomedius series or Deathsmiles series can be found on most devices, if you ever want to experience what the cute-'em-up genre is like. Now that we got through that, let's go to the real deal. But of course, we have to mention classic shoot-'em-ups, like the mothers of these genres, like Galaga or even Asteroids. If you're wondering how I know these games, it's not because of the emulators this time, but because of the plug-and-play consoles. You know, those things? And I was lucky enough to get two, one that had Asteroids and the other Galaga. I don't play these games anymore simply because they're too basic. They're classic and nostalgic, but basics. Although on the other hand, they're great games if you want to get into the genre. Here's a game I truly prefer playing on the Sega CD, Android Assault. The story in a nutshell is bad guys attack peaceful colony where the colony constructs one ship capable of transforming into a mech. So one ship. Reminds me of Rambo. As far as the gameplay goes, it's pretty solid and really original, as picking up these round power-up changes your weapons. For example, red shoots bullets and missile, green shoots lasers, blue shoots bombs, and etc. If you don't shoot it for a while, you even have an ultimate, which will deal much more damage. And as I stated before, you do turn into a mech when you collect enough power-ups. The only downside to this game is the level design. You never know what is what. One time you can go through the background, and sometimes it's stuff you need to avoid. But what if you don't use emulators? Probably because you don't know how to install them, or too lazy, or you don't support pirates. Well, you go to a company that does that just right. Emu, who are actually porters of classic arcade games onto touchscreen devices. They're also the ones who port the SNK games to the Play stores. Since I already talked about Blazing Star, instead I'll talk about another familiar game that I downloaded a while ago. R-Type 2 specifically, a game that came out in 1989 that was re-released recently on mobile devices, developed by IREM, as in, I don't remember them. Huh? Okay, that was bad. But anyways, I would have loved to review the third game of the series, but it's not available at the moment, unless you emulate it, of course. What sets it aside from other shooters is that your ship doesn't get the power-ups, but instead this little weird thing which you can equip and unequip to your ship. Depending on the situations, you can equip or unequip it to have a different set of attacks. But in the end, it remains your classic style of arcade shoot-'em-up, but with a difficulty amped up way high. So unless you feel comfortable having tons of stuff on screen, I wouldn't recommend this for first-timers. Then again, what if you don't want to pay to play a classic arcade game? Of course, there's the option of the freemium games, but some of them are downside bad. So it's pretty much a hit and miss when trying to find a good game for the genre. Here's two of them that are really enjoyable and that I'd recommend a download to check them out. The first one is Sector Strike, a game developed by Clapfoot Inc. This game is a more modern version of a shoot-'em-up, and they also add a few options in the game such as buying more damage for your power-ups and even different ships. The graphics here look amazing, and it's one of the better arcade shooters out there. I would highly recommend this game for all fans and people who want to get into the shoot-'em-up genre. Although you might want to turn off the music after a while as it starts to get repetitive. Or if you want to be fully insane and try something nice that will test your limits, then Danmaku Unlimited 2 is the way to go. The light version is free, which will give you enough time to decide whether or not you'll want to buy this game. The game has a sweet soundtrack that will put you in the mood to play anytime. Graphics are amazing and there's no lag considering the tons of stuff that appear on screen. From the start you're treated with two modes, Burst Mode, which is the high score ranking system, and Classic Mode, where you have a number of lives and your objective is not to die. By collecting enough stuff, you'll unleash an ultimate attack that will wipe all the enemies on screen and give you tons of points. The bosses also feel amazing as you're so small compared to them. Hopefully you don't have seizure problems because you would be missing on one hell of a game. Whether it's by emulation, download, or even going as far as playing them in the arcade they were intended to, this genre has a wide selection of games you might want to take a look at. It's even more fun if you have a second player to tag along. Now I might not have listed all the popular games, but you'll find the shoot-'em-ups I've played in the description. This has been CyberborgTronic. Remember to hit like, subscribe, and share. Oh, and happy Valentine's Day.